Hey yo, my name is Matt, and today we're going to be looking at how I set up a recent photo. I received a ton of love and positive feedback for this shot, so first off, thank you. I just wanted to break it down. So let's check it out. First, we're going to look at the parts that make up this photo. I broke them down into 4 different parts. First up is the fluff. I got a lot of comments asking what this fluff stuff is. And it's just pillow stuffing that you can get at a hobby shop or Walmart or Amazon. It's not expensive, it's not dangerous. I've used this technique once before, and I've seen a lot of people use this technique for all different kinds of figures. And it's just a matter of putting a light under the fluff. I've also seen it used for like explosion effects. Just need to paint to the fluff maybe a little bit. But today we're using it as clouds. I knew I wanted it to be in layers and pretty big. Luckily, I did have a lot of extra stuffing in my garage from other projects. For the second part, we have the lights. Both of these ones that I'm using for the clouds are gonna be from Ulanzi. They're pretty cheap, pretty inexpensive lights that you can get on Amazon. I have it listed in my description. They are RGB and can get all different kinds of colors and even some effects for some video work. But the key to this one is because I'm going for a sunset, I did want it to have layers. So one will be orange and the second one will be purple. And instead of putting them side by side, that won't give the same effect. I wanted the purple one higher than the orange one. And so that's why I have it on this stand. And so on top of these lights is where I'm just gonna throw down the fluff and start making the layers. This shot could have been done without the TV, but it does give that little bit extra effect, and I am trying to use more digital background, so I just wanted to throw it in there. I got this image from unsplash.com and I kind of modified it a little bit with this sunset gradient to really make this pop and add to the effect. Instead of the TV, you could use a white poster board or a blue for the sky, or maybe even black would work well. For the last part, we have the figure, which is the ship, and this stand. The stand is actually a stop motion rig that I bought on Amazon. It used to be a little cheaper. I think it's gone up in price, which is also listed in my store in the description. I do like using this when I'm trying to prop a figure up, like for flying, because it's a little more sturdy than wires, and sometimes I'll try to do it with wires, but then I get frustrated or they don't stick right or whatever, and then boom, I just pop this on and it works. A cheaper alternative, similar design, is this watch repair kit that I bought and I kind of modified. It has a clamp on it too, it just fell off. And same idea, it's just smaller and more straightforward and cheaper. With the camera set up, I aligned the X-wing to be directly in the center. Another trick I did like using with the fluff is kind of putting it close to the camera. This is a little different because it's a wide angle lens, but to where it's out of focus. Yes, this helps hide the stand a little bit, but it's also gonna give us that foreground layer for more depth. Also with more depth, when I'm taking the shot, I like having the subject farther away from the background. That's gonna create more depth as well. And it's gonna blur the fluff, because if you have this right next to your subject and your subject is in focus, this is gonna be in focus, and for the most part it's okay, but it still has these little flying things that you could edit out, but it might be annoying. So keeping this out of focus is ideal, and it'll make your editing job easier. And then just the depth looks better. Like you don't need your ship all in the fluff. So creating depth, foreground, background, subject, give it some nice space. One last light that I added that really helps with the background lights and the digital lights is to really connect your subject to your background. So we have the background set, it looks cool, but this guy is gonna be either dark, it could be a cool silhouette shot, but I didn't want that, or he's gonna be like with the white light. We don't want that either, it's not gonna look good. So what I did was I had this orange light, I placed it behind the subject to give that orange glow onto the ship. It really helps tie in your subject to the background and really just blends it together. So that was the setup for the shot. I do love combining practical effects with digital effects. So in Photoshop, besides removing the wire stand, I did add a few clouds with the cloud brush at the top of the image where I didn't put any fluff. And then I also added these fire exhausts coming out of the X-wing. I really like how the colors came out in the final image. Let me know what you think of it. To create and inspire, peace.